This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so welcome to Isha Training Center. This is our course, ETL testing beginners to advanced level. Okay, so this is what we are going to see today. So ETL architecture, ETL basics, overview of data warehousing, ETL processes and tools, and this part we'll see tomorrow. Okay, so till here we will see today what is this. Okay, so anyway, we yesterday we discussed what ETL is and how ETL processes works. Like it was just a overview of ETL. Today we are going to see that it same ETL concepts in depth. Okay, so it what is ETL? What is ETL? In one sentence, what is ETL? So it is the process of updating the data warehouse. Okay, actually, guys, I was having a scribble and pad, but I just forgot it in Bangalore. So actually, I have a habit of explaining such things on scribble and pad through blank pages. Same, it will work for me as a blackboard and chalk. But this time I don't have that scribble pad, so I'm just preparing slides to make you understand more. And this slides will be with you all the time, so you can go and refer at any point of time. And I have prepared these slides in a way that in a very detailed way. It's just not just a pictorial, or it's not just key pointers kind of slide. It is a very detailed slide. You don't have to make any notes yourself. You just focus on this lecture. You just try to visualize and understand what I'm explaining while explaining ETL. And be rest assured about these notes. I'll forward these notes in our WhatsApp group once after this session gets over. Okay, so try to focus more on whatever I'm explaining. Okay, so what ETL is? So the ETL is the process of updating the data warehouse. So what data warehouse is? We'll come to that. First, let's see what. First, let's define ETL. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. Okay, extract, transform, and load. Extract means extraction, like extraction of a data from a source system. Source system can be anything. It can be database, it can be flat files means it can be a Excel file, XML file, simple notepad, simple document file. Whatever kind of simple files is considered as a flat files. So source can be anything: flat file, databases, or ERP systems. So we are going to extract this data from source system. We apply some transformation logics to this data. What are these transformation logics are? We'll see in depth. So these transformation logics are nothing but uh, a business rules defined by that particular organization according to their own requirement. Okay, so these are the transformation rules. And then typically load means loading of a data into some database. That database is a very huge database, and this database is a very no nicely kept, a structured manner, a subject oriented. So this database is known as a data warehouse. So loading this data into data warehouse, extracting data from source systems, apply some transformation logics, and load this data into data warehouse. So this is the procedure of ETL. In many organizations, the setup of the IT department happened long time back, right? So this is a actual industrial example I'm explaining here. So there is in every organization, whatever it is whether it is automobile industry, whether it is a manufacturing industry, whether it is a retail domain, kind like DMart or Big Bazaar. These are retail domains, right? So whether it is a retail domain, whether it is a banking domain, all these organizations will have their own IT department. Okay, so setup of these IT departments have been set up a long time back when they started you know organizations. So like typically 15, 20, 25 years before. So in most of the cases, the way each department handles handles the data is different. Okay. So what do I mean by each department? Each department means each and every organization is having their own department. Like uh, retail, see, for example, retail organization can have multiple departments such as sales, marketing, logistics, etc. Banking organizations can have different departments like clerical work. There can be a credit department, there can be a account department, there can be a cash department, right? There can be a sales team, there can be a marketing team to sell their own products, right? So there can be HR department in any organization. So all such departments are uh, having their own way of handle the data. HR department can handle data through ERP systems like SAP or Salesforce. They can have uh, uh, what HR departments do usually. They just keep records of employees. They just keep records of resources, right? So this data of employees they can handle through not a typical database of like Oracle or Microsoft SQL. They won't handle this data through such databases. They handle such data through ERP systems like SAP and these things. So HR department will handle this data through ERP. Sales department can handle data through Excel sheet. Marketing department can handle data through SAP or Excel sheet. Some IT, technical department will handle such kind of data through, databases like SQL, Microsoft SQL or Oracle DB or some Informix, PostgreSQL, whatever databases. So there can be a different ways of handling data for each and every department in a organization. So all such departments will handle same data in a different way. Then and we as a ETL tester or ETL developer, we are scratching that data from different sources. So there are different sources we have, as we have seen, right? So all these different sources are pushing that data to our ETL system. So there so we are pushing this we are pushing some transformation logics to such existing data, and we are cleaning that data, and we are keeping that data in a uniform manner and pushing this uniform data to data warehouse. What data warehouse will do? Data warehouse will do uh, you know it will help you to generate reports and take decisions. Okay, so we'll come to that later. First understand this what ETL is. So each of this department is handling the customer information, but the way they store that data could be different, right? So that's what I have explained right now. The sales department store it by name, whereas marketing department has its has it in the number format. So ETL can take all this data from a different source and transform it into uniform presentation. See, that's what I was talking about. So such as for storing in a database or a data warehouse. So this is what ETL is. Okay. Another challenge of the old IT infrastructure is different data format used by different departments. So for example, uh, so so different data format means some HR department, for example, HR department is saving your birth of date in DDMMYY format, and your some account department who is handling your payouts and these things, they are storing your birth of date in YYMMDD format. So this is the data format differentiation, right? So so such kind of challenges. This is very generic example. There are more complex examples when we actual jump into the any organizations inside data. So there can be a much complex examples can be there. So but just understand what data format different data formats used by different departments. That's why I just gave you a simple generic example. Okay, so it might happen for HRD department, somebody is using SAP, whereas sales department you have Oracle applications. So to take a business critical decisions, it is difficult for the higher management to get data from different platforms and consolidate them. So what we do is we take this data from different sources, we make it a uniform data, and we store it in a data warehouse. And from data warehouse, this higher management can scratch this data to take difficult critical decisions to run their business or to grow their business. ETL can do that job easily. It will take a data from different sources and transform it to uniform format and store it into database tables. This database tables is nothing but data warehouse. From that database, you can generate the required reports. Okay,
Um,
so this is
and
what ETL is. Yes, please.
hello.
Yeah, who is
Yeah, hi,
this?
Shiv. Sorry to interrupt you. So,
Yes.
can I consolidate the point? Like, so you are trying to say it like multiple from multiple data places, wherever they have
Hmm.
different format, they store the data. So
Hmm.
ET will bring it in one place and it will store it in a uniform format. Uniform format in the sense in the
Yes,
same format. All the different things they'll
correct.
consolidate, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, for
So is there a
example,
specific format for ET?
that format is not a universal format. That format is defined by your business team. Let's suppose you are handling data
Okay.
of HDFC Bank, and
Mm-hmm.
HDFC Bank wants you to wants you to develop a data warehouse for them. So they'll give
Mm-hmm.
you certain set of rules how they want that data in data warehouse. Okay.
Okay.
Simple example is date of birth. Some of account holders can enter their date of birth in a YYMM DD format. Some of account holders have entered their date of birth in a DDMM YY format. But HDFC Bank like authorized authorities or higher management not interested in digging what account holder is having this particular format and what account holder is having this particular format. They want all the birth dates in a single format.
Specified
That is,
format. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, specified format. DDMM YYYY. So they want
Okay.
all the birth dates in this particular format. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll mention that particular thing in a business requirement document, BRD. Okay, in BRD you will
Okay.
have a certain set of rules how you
Mm-hmm.
will handle that data before putting it into data warehouse. This is one example of birth date. Another example can be address. Okay, so there can be addresses. There can be multiple addresses to link to one particular account holder. There can be a blank address to particular account holder. So how you want that data to get handled? That is defined in that business requirement document. If let's suppose HDFC Bank stakeholders do not want any null values in the data warehouse as a address, while considering address as a field, they do not want any blank addresses in the data warehouse. So you, as a ETL developer or ETL tester, you guys have to make a system that your system will reject that particular record which is already blank in the address section. So that record will not go into data warehouse until and unless that address gets filled up. Does this answer your question, Silpa?
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. I got it. Shiva, right? Shiva.
Yes, she.
Yeah. I got it. Thank you, Shiva.
Yes.
It's clear. Yeah.
So can we move ahead, or anyone is having any doubts? Still here, ETL part I was trying to explain. So if anyone is having any more doubts regarding this part, you can ask. Yes, no one? Okay, let's continue. So this is ETL architecture. This is what I was talking about. I guess I have explained this in yesterday's class, but there were some different people yesterday, and those who have missed it, it will help for them. Okay, so I'll explain it once again today. So these are the source system. Okay, This is our transformation logics or ETL system, and this is our database. And I'll tell you what this is. Okay, first let's start with this source systems. So the source can be anything. Source can be ERP systems, source can be flat files, and source can be unstructured data. So let's understand what ERP is, what flat files is, and what unstructured data is. So ERP systems means ERP means enterprise resource planning. Enterprise resource planning is a technology. Under that technology, there can be a multiple tools like Oracle, SAP, uh, Salesforce. Such kind of tools or softwares falls under ERP systems, which actually generate data. So we can scratch data from such systems as a source. We can scratch data from flat files. What are flat files? Again, Excel format, XML format, simple notepad format. Uh, Such kind of formats are fall under flat files. What is unstructured data? Unstructured data is a simple databases, different databases, or like kind of Oracle DB, Microsoft SQL, PostgreSQL, Informix databases. All such databases are unstructured data. So because uh, you know in databases there is a very unstructured data can be restored. Whatever uh, we are receiving, we are just storing it on a regular basis in our databases. Okay, so this is unstructured data. So this is overall source systems from where we are going to scratch our data. After scratching that data, where we are pushing that data into staging layer. Forget about this ODS. I'll explain you later what ODS is. We are just pushing, and just understand that we are pushing this source data to staging layer. On staging layer, what is staging layer? So staging layer is very important in ETL testing, because on staging layer we are pushing that data for transformation purpose. Okay, just a second now. Let me have some water. Okay, so what is staging layer? I was talking about staging layer, right? So staging layer is somewhere we land our data for testing purpose, or for developing purpose, or to develop such ETL systems. Okay, so all such transformation logics are applied here on staging layer, and whatever ETL processes, whatever ETL graphs we are going to, like, developers will create ETL graphs actually, ETL developers. Those what ETL tester has to do is test those graphs, how they are working, what if they are working according to our business rules or not. So such graphs and transformation logics are developed here on staging layer. Okay. Once after that staging layer, we will get a uniform data in a specified format, or in one format, or in a nicely kept manner. This data we will push into data warehouse. What data warehouse is? Data warehouse is a simple database with specific uh, like with a sub with where we can keep our data subject oriented, and there can be a multiple purpose of data warehouse. There are multiple features of data warehouse. We'll talk about that later, but just understand for now, we'll push this uniform data to data warehouse. This data warehouse is having small chunks of data marts, like uh, plenty of data marts will be there under one data warehouse. What these data marts is? Data marts are nothing but subject oriented. Data marts stores subject oriented data. Okay, so HR department will have, HR department is a one subject. Sales department is one subject. Again, marketing department is one subject. Account department is one subject. So such kind of subjects are there, and this data will get stored on data marts subject wise. Okay, subject specific data can be stored on data marts. So this is data warehouse. From this data warehouse, this business holders, business stakeholders, or higher authorities will try to generate the reports from this data warehouse, because we are having a clean data, right? These business owners cannot go here on source directly and they take data from SAP, some take some data from flat files, take some data from databases, and they can generate a report, and they cannot take decisions, right? Because this data is a messy data. So we are giving them clean data, nice data, okay, and they are able to generate report based on this data, and they'll use these reports to take important decisions to grow their business and to expand their business. So this part of architecture is known as business intelligence, and this part of architecture is known as ETL: extract, transform, load. Extraction, transformation, loading, right? Simple, right? So this is ETL architecture. Let's move on to our next slide, like sample ETL tools. So let's, okay, I'll move to this slide later. I'll just want to take some questions from you guys till now, till here. Are you guys able to understand what I'm explaining till here?
Yeah. Ahana here. Hello, Shiv.
Yes, Ahana, please go ahead.
Actually, I'm having a question at the stage area.
Hmm.
Can you tell me which tools can be used as stage area, warehouse area?
Yes,
What
so
kind of tools we are using there?
yes, I got that. Yes, okay. So stage area, in staging area, we are using ETL tools. What ETL tools are, we are going to see that in our next slide. Okay. So this staging area, we are having ETL tools. In data, so in warehouse, what tools we have? Simple databases. That can be uh, Oracle database, that can be Microsoft SQL, that can be Postgres, that can be Informix. So such kind of databases which handle large amount of data can be used as a data warehouse. Data warehouse is nothing but a database only. It's just a
So,
database. Yes.
okay, okay, that is means database is the tool here, stage and warehouse area.
Not stage. Staging is different. Staging, on staging we have different ETL tools. On data warehouse we have databases.
Okay,
And this data, what database we need to use, that can be decided by your team, by your organization.
that kind of different SQL, SAP, Postgres type of
Yes,
databases.
yes,
So,
yes.
but then I'm having one more question. Then, what is the difference that ETL testing and database testing? Is there any difference here at warehouse area? Yeah, is the same
Yes,
test?
obviously. Database testing is altogether different, and ETL testing is altogether different. What database testing is, in database testing, we mainly focus on data. You just need to test your data. Uh, when we say data, let's suppose database testing is, uh, I don't know how much you guys know about databases or DBMS systems, database management system. So while creating any database or any tables, they have some constraints, right? You remember, if you guys are aware of any database DBMS systems? Yes, Ahna, you specifically?
Type DBMS?
Yes.
Can we say MySQL?
No, DBMS is a, like like MySQL is a small part of DBMS. Database management system is huge, huge subject. So people who develop databases, okay, they have certain rules. What kind of table formats will be there in one? Let's suppose one table is there. In one table, what columns can be there? Uh,
Okay,
what
means how do
what
we,
size of that particular record will carry
yeah,
for
yeah,
that particular column? Such rules, right? Such rules are there. There, for that rules, we say these rules as a database structure, a table structure. Such kind of rules and such kind of data can be tested in database testing. This is database testing. It mainly focus on your database, format of the database, structure of the database, and data types. Okay.
Okay, on the
So
basis of data, somewhere
yes,
I'm working in the capital market domain, so I'm having orders and trades data. So
yes,
how the data will
yes.
be updated in my database? There is some column schema, how to develop, how to design that schema of
Exactly,
that table.
exactly. Yes, yes. This all things, such things are fall under database testing. And ETL testing, we are just handling our source data. We are responsible for pushing this source data. The source data is a very messy one. Let's consider this is a messy data in a different types of formats. Lots of messy data. We are responsible for pushing this messy data into data warehouse. How we
Okay.
will push this data to data warehouse? Through ETL
Okay.
process. So what ETL process is? That's what we are right currently understanding. So it's that simple. Okay. So
That is only
you
difference
said
is
you
schema
are working with, for
real
let's
test.
take your own example to make other guys understand. You are working with capital market, right? So there can be different types of data. There can be no numerical data. There can be alphanumerical data. There can be alphabetic data, right?
Yes. Mm.
Yeah. If you want to buy one script, that script name will be in alphabetical format, right? Orders can
That
be in a numerical format. Uh, that numerical format will be again be a decimal format, or uh, what is there, so some numerical formats are there, right? So in such
again
formats,
numeric.
so who will, yeah, so who will decide these such kind of rules? This is designed by a database developer, right? Database admin. So to test all such things, we use database testing. Okay.
Okay, I got it. Means the
Yeah.
schema is already defined for database testing and ETL testing not having such a schema that is messy data.
Yes. We
That's
in
correct.
ETL testing we don't have to do anything with how databases are
Okay.
formed, what data we need to like. Uh, we are not responsible for defining any data types. If it is a varchar, if it is a
Mhm.
char, if it is a int format, we don't care about that. We just care about particular records. We just care about records. So what do we test? For example, I'll take uh, tomorrow's whole session to understand uh, what kind of testing will be there in ETL, what kind of bugs will be there in ETL, what is life cycle in ETL. But just giving you overview, I'm just taking one example. What do we test? For example, we are testing. Let's consider at source we have 200 records. Okay, we do not have 200 records in real time. We'll have 2 lakhs of records in real time, but let's consider 200 records in the source table. We are applying some transformations, and we are pushing the data into data warehouse. So as a ETL tester, we are responsible for putting all these 200 data into data warehouse. So count validation is a type of validation we are going to see tomorrow. But this count validation, what does this count validation do? It will check your source count and target count. It should match until and unless there is a business rule. As I said in my earlier example, if there is a address as blank, we are going to reject that data. This is our business rule, right? So according to this business rule, we rejected 2 records out of 200. There are 2 records who are not following address, who are putting address as null. So what our business rule is saying, reject those records. So we are rejecting those 2 records. Right now, we are having 200 at our source. We rejected 2 records. So we will expect 198 records at the target, at the data warehouse, right? So this should, this test case should pass. This test case will not fail, right? So such kind of testing will perform in ETL testing. So count validation is one type of testing we are going to see in depth tomorrow. But you You got that idea, right? What we are going to do as ETL tester.
I got it. Yeah. I got it.
Yes,
Thanks.
yes.
So one more thing is there. I'm
Hmm.
means in my organization, the database is like designed likewise, orders and trades coming in this one table, and they will means past 1 month data, push it to another tables, that is historical tables. So whatever
Yes,
the data is updated in historical table, is that like a warehousing?
correct. Yes. This is the part of ETL or warehousing.
Okay.
Yes. As we go forward now in today's session, you will come to know what data warehousing is and what historical data is. So you can relate your same example to that thing. Okay. Can we move ahead?
Thanks.
Okay. Yes. So these are sample ETL tools. So this is what we are talking about. When we are talking about stage, no, these same tools will come into picture. Teradata warehouse builder from Teradata, data stage from Essential Software, SAS system from SAS Institute, PowerMart or Power Center from Informatica. So Informatica Power Center is one which is widely used, and this is Ab initio is the second widely used tool in ETL industry. Okay, so these are, such tools are there as ETL tools, and again there are different ETL testing tools as well. Query search, Talent, SSIS. We'll go through such tools in latter part of our training. But before going to tool, like working of any tool is same. If you understand any one tool out of these, uh, same logic will get applied to any other tool. It's just like you know how to run WhatsApp, you will automatically know how to message from Instagram, how to message from Facebook. It's same, right? Just tool is different, so it's same way. uh, about this ETL part. You just understand how we will perform ETL and how we will perform test cases, how we will execute test cases. Rest all things are same with all the tools. Okay. So purpose of ETL testing. What is the purpose of ETL testing? So that's what we were explaining till now. From above points, clearly accuracy of the data after transformation is critical in ETL testing, because if the data is not accurate, then the business decisions will be wrong, right? So following test types are commonly used in ETL testing. So what kind of test cases we follow? No data loss. There should not be any data loss in ETL. So as we explained in our earlier example. So let's see. In this testing type, we first determine an n number of entities in the source system. Say total number of employees in one such entity is having 200 employees, okay, in source system. And then after ETL transformation, the data store, I should still get 2000 employees in destination database. So destination database is nothing but data warehouse. Then only exception is when we have some business rules, right? We have already seen this. So, and as an example, there can be, so we have seen our 200 like banking example, right? 200 with 200 employees. This is something different with 2000 employees. So as an example, there can be a new system. Business does not want to keep that data for people who no longer works for that particular organization. So this is basically a HR data of employees, and this particular organization does not want to keep that data for the people who are no longer works for that particular organization. So in that situation, the destination will discard the record of those employees and store the number less than 2000. So it's the same example as we have seen, right? So you might have understand by reading this. Okay. So this testing is done by mainly querying the source and destination databases. So how we will do this testing? We will go to our source database. We'll type SQL query that select count of star from this particular database, where this particular table is having. So we'll see when we go to SQL. I'm just giving you an example how we will query count, to fetch count from a database. So that query we will put in source system and also in the destination system. That way we will get some count from source and same count from destination. So if there is any discrepancy between source count and destination count, then we should fail that test case. We should raise a defect then and there. So depending on that complexity of the system, those SQL queries might be very complex and beyond the skill of a tester. So, but however, running the query and checking the result is still the responsibility of the QA team, right? So this is what we were seen earlier. Next test can be a validation of transformation rules. So transformation rules can be like there can be plenty of transformation rules in one business requirement document. So this is the second big validation point. In ETL testing, you will get the requirements in terms of transformation rules, right? You guys might have worked with software industry. In software industry, you will get requirements in BRD in a functionality wise. So your client wants to develop one software with such functionalities that it should let's take simple calculator. Your client wants to build a calculator where if you press 2 plus 2 your answer should be 4. This is a business rule. So such kind of softwares you are going to develop. So there you will receive your particular functionalities. Here as a ETL in ETL world we receive these requirements in terms of transformation rules. One example could be the data format. Date format. Let me correct that. One example could be a date format. This date format in the source was YYDDMM, whereas in the destination we want MMDDYY. So this transformation rule we will apply. Developer will develop one ETL system, one ETL mapping or one ETL graph, which will convert all type of date formats to this date format. And then so you need to check them by taking some sample data. You will as a ETL tester you will have to create sample data, create a sample test data. There, while creating that particular sample test data, you will have to, let's suppose you are testing this particular date format transformation logic. Then how you are going to create a test data for particular date format to test this particular date format. You will create one test data with valid date format. You will create one test data with invalid date format, and you will create one test data with another invalid format where you are putting your date as a alphanumeric. Like here we are having MMDDYY, right? There can be test data which is saying month is 02, date is 02, month is September, SEP, and year is 1990. This is alphanumeric date format, right? Where we are putting month as a alphabetic. So you will create that particular sample data and you push this data as a sample data to our ETL system. This ETL system will throw an error for those two particular invalid data, and one valid data will pass through that system. There you will have to pass that test case, right? Because it is ideally this ETL system should reject invalid data, right? So and our ETL system is rejecting this type of data. If it is ETL system is passing that particular data also along with our valid data, then you should raise a defect then and there. Are you able to getting? Are you getting me?
Yeah, we get that point.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So this is very simple example. So it's not a complex one. So you need to check them by taking some sample data. Here you apply all the good conventional test theories like boundary value analysis, equivalent partition. So these are some testing concepts you might know, right? What is boundary value analysis and what is equivalent partition, etc. So these are some conventional test theories. If you don't know, we'll see later in our testing part. And meanwhile, you can also go through Google. What are the conventional test theories? It will help you guys, right? So all the database field level and record level data, all the database field level and record level data integrity must be tested here. So what is field level and what is record level? So there are terminologies in database world or ETL world. This type of terminologies will be there. Table is a so there is a terminology called table. Table is nothing but collection of rows and columns. Simple, right? What are rows and what are columns? Columns are nothing but uh, let's suppose we are having one database, employees database. In employees database, we are having employee number, employee name, employee salary, uh, his joining date, his exit date, his date of birth, some such type of columns, right? These are column names. And what are rows? Rows are nothing but records. Their employee number one is Shiv. His name is Shiv. His last name is Patil. His salary is 20K. Such kind of records are nothing but rows. You understand what is rows and what is columns, right? So in while we work in database world, we use this terminology as field. What is field? It is nothing but column. Field is column, and row or record is nothing but record. Okay. Okay, so field level validation means column level validation, and record level validation means row level validation, record level. So on these two, both the levels, data integrity should be tested. So you need to select the test data in such a way that at the end, all the fields are touched into the destination database after transformation. So we have seen one example of date format, right? How we will create our test data. It will touch all the transformation rules. It will reject alphanumeric date, it will reject invalid date format, and it will pass valid date format. So we are touching all the transformation logics here, right? Three transformation logics we are touching here for regarding date format, right? So such kind of transformations, different type of transformations will be there apart from date format. So there are plenty of other transformations. We will prepare sample test data for all those transformations. Okay. Another type of testing will be that business process testing. Once the transformation is done, these data feeds will go to many consumer systems like sales, marketing, HR department. So you need to ensure by testing from those systems that they can receive the data in the preformed format. So what does this mean? So let's take an example. We are transforming some data, some employee data, and like there are different type of departments, sales department, marketing department. Everyone is having your name. Sales department also have your data. Marketing department also have your data. HR department also have your data. But their way of handling your data is different. So we are transforming this data. We are putting that data in a uniform format, and we uh, put that data in a uniform format in a data warehouse. And let's suppose at some point marketing guy is looking for your data, or he wants to fetch data from data warehouse for your own record. Then he can be able to that he should be able to fetch your record from data warehouse. Sales department also should be able to fetch your data from data warehouse, whether even if it is not their own format, it is a unified format. They should be able to scratch that record, fetch that record. So this is what this testing will do. So preform format means uniform format. All the critical end-to-end business flows must be tested here from GUI. Okay. Okay, now we will move to data warehousing. Before that, do you have any doubts in this validation rule, validation, examples? These are only examples. There are other validations also, which we are going to discuss in tomorrow's or the day after tomorrow session. Tomorrow I'm planning to take data warehouse in depth, and the day after tomorrow we will see type of validations in ETL and such things. But now, till now, in such examples, do you have any doubts? Yes, anyone? Everyone is good. If I take any one of your name and if I ask any question, are you guys able to answer? Will you guys? Okay. Bala, should I ask one question to you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's find out. So how we will validate data loss, if there is any data loss or not,
Uh,
from
by
source to
ensure
target.
from
Hmm.
source to destination, if we ensure that the uh, transfer that structure of the data will be identified. So using that, we can able to analyze. There will be no data loss if what are all the data we can transfer from source to destination. In the same format, if we transfer from source to destination without any loss, the count based on the count.
Yes, based on the count. Okay. So how you will get that count from source and now from destination?
Based on the business rule which we are provided before transfer.
No, no. Forget about transformation. How you are going to
Okay.
get that count? How many records are at the source and how many records at the uh, data warehouse or target?
Very.
Simple query, right? Yes.
Yes.
Simple
Yes.
SQL query you will put on the source side, and that simple SQL query you will put on the target side. You will get that count.
Okay.
That count should match, right? Only exception is
Okay.
if there is any business rule which is saying that reject this record if it is not having this kind of transformation, then that rejected record should get accepted. Like should get rejected, and that count can be accepted. That less count, that much of less count can be accepted by target,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Okay. Uh, Someone left. I guess he might have failed that. I'll ask another question to him. No problem. We'll move to other.
Shivam, I'm
Yes.
having one query here.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay, that is
Yes. Go.
invalid data we are extracting. So no, not pushing to the warehouse.
Hmm. No, I didn't
Why?
get that question.
Okay, I'm having a 10 number of records want to push it to warehouse.
Hmm.
Okay, so I want to keep a number of same record of history of there. Well, whatever. Okay, there is some name mistake or something address is not there. So why do
Hmm.
we extract that data? Why we say that it is a invalid data? Might be that data is filled like that way. Okay,
Yes.
might be
Yes.
available.
So that's where problem relies, right? That's where if data is while feeding that data itself, it is fed in a wrong way, then that is the issue, right? That's why we are developing ETL systems, right, to recognize such mistakes. So
But that's
if you
not
have
a kind of mistake.
sorry.
That is not a mistake. Okay, I'm feeding name of the employee and the employee ID, whatever the address. I don't require address, so I can update to the warehouse. So it is
Yes,
not a issue.
let's consider, let's understand this situation in a real example. You're having
Okay.
employee name, employee number, employee name, first name, last name, and his date of birth, address, phone number, and his salary, and joining date, end of the date, end of yeah, like joining date and end of date. Okay, so these type of columns you have at source. At destination, what do you want? You want all such things are mandatory, right? Phone number is mandatory, employee
Okay.
number is mandatory, first name is mandatory. Okay, last name is not mandatory. Address is mandatory.
Not mandatory, then what?
Sorry, sorry.
In case all the values not mandatory.
Uh, No, there is no such scenario in all over world, right? That there is no column mandatory. There should be some columns mandatory,
Okay.
because if you
Partial
are
sum
putting
for
some record, if you are putting some record, at least employee number is a primary key in any
yeah.
database,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So employee number is mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Employee first name, obviously, if you are putting some record, he should have first name, right? How can be
Mm-hmm.
there? How can there be a employee with no name? So employee
Mm-hmm.
name is mandatory, first name at least. If you do not want to put your last name, surname, that is fine. That is optional. So that first name is mandatory and last name is optional. We can keep it as it is, right? Date of birth, at if record is there, he should have some date of birth when he born. Whether it is fake or real, we don't care. But there should be some date format, right? So date of birth will be mandatory, address will be mandatory, phone number will be mandatory. So such records are there, and you what while feeding data, what mistake you have done is you have not feed his mobile number. Now what our business rule is saying, all such mandatory things should be there in particular record, and all such records only will get passed through our ETL system to data warehouse. If any record is there who are missing these mandatory details, reject that record. So if your business rule itself is saying that, you should reject that particular record who is missing your phone number, right? This rejected record will go to rejected list. It will form a log file. Okay, I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
one simple scenario of rejection. After rejecting this record, it will generate a log file. In that log file, you will get to see what records have been rejected, why it has been rejected. Accordingly, you will go to your again your database admin or someone with such record. Okay, this is a rejected record. Get this data corrected and feed it to the system in next dump. There
Mm-hmm.
can be a periodic dumps while
Mm-hmm.
extracting data from source. We are not extracting data from on day-to-day basis. We are extracting data from a source on monthly basis. Sometimes they'll extract data on weekly basis. Likewise, they are not extracting data on hourly basis. Okay, so keep this data with database admin. Ask them to correct that data for next dump, and then you can feed that data next time whenever you are extracting that data.
Okay.
Right?
Ultimately, how do I want to push it the data? It depends on. Okay,
Yes,
I'm a
what business
beneficiary of.
rules are saying.
Right, right. I got
Yes,
point right.
yes. So there are
Thanks.
such scenarios when I was working, I have seen like there are phone numbers, all 10 numbers are zero. So there is a business rule in our document that reject all
Oh,
zeros. In name format, there is a business rule which is saying that reject a name which is having a special character in between, which is having a space in between, which is starting with a numerical uh, format. It should not contain a numerical format. It should be in alphabet only. Name, right? There. So such kind of rules are there for name format. So
okay.
yeah, special characters can be accepted in address format. Special characters can be accepted in your ID means Aadhaar card detail or PAN card details. There we can accept that, but not Aadhaar card. Our Aadhaar card is a we are accepting Aadhaar card in a numerical format only, but there are other ID types where we will accept that special characters, but not in a name format. So all such
Excellent.
rules are there. If uh, any record is breaching these rules, that record will get rejected. Again, there are all such records are not necessarily rejected. S- Some records are meant to be just raise a flag, like no cleans that data. Sometimes let's suppose one how can I give that example? Let's suppose salary column is there, and some employee for particular employee, let's say Ahana is an employee, and for Ahana there is no salary mentioned, but business rule is saying salary should be mentioned in a record. If another business rule is saying if salary is not mentioned, don't reject that record, but replace that salary column with null value. Simply
Okay.
put that keyword null keyword null value, but don't keep it blank. So that is cleansing. One is rejecting, one is cleansing. So we are not rejecting here Ahana's record. We are cleansing Ahana's record with null value. So this is transformation.
Okay.
Okay. And we will push this Ahana's record to data warehouse. Now business people will use this Ahana's record to generate their own decisions. Okay, Ahana's salary is in null format. She might have salary, she might not have salary, but what we are able to see is it is null.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, right.
So
Uh,
this
yeah.
narrows it to two records, the whatever you discussing before in this, whatever the records, just push it.
Yes.
And is there anything missing? Then
Don't push it,
update something.
reject it. Don't push
Okay.
it, reject
Yeah.
those records who are not following your business rules.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes. So we will quickly see what data warehousing is, and what features are of data warehouse, and then we will close. Actually, we are going to have 1 hour session daily. It's already 1 hour, but we will try to finish it quickly. Are you guys okay, right? If we extend it to 15 minutes more, or do you guys want it to discuss it tomorrow? It's up to you. Should we proceed today to
We
data
can
warehouse?
continue.
It's just a quick introduction. We'll finish
We
it
can.
quickly in 15 minutes. Yes, yes, Pritika.
I was just acknowledging we can continue.
We can continue, right? Good.
I
Yes.
wanted to discontinue right now, but anyway.
Yeah, but see, keep your doubts noted somewhere. We'll definitely discuss. Don't let it go. We will
Okay.
definitely discuss. Let me finish this data warehouse concepts, and we will definitely discuss your doubts once again. Okay? Just keep it noted somewhere. You might forget while focusing on next concepts.
Thanks.
Yes. So what data warehousing is? Data warehouse can be considered as a storage area where relevant data is stored, irrespective of the source. So source can be anything, irrespective of the source means source can be anything. It can be flat files, it can be database, it can be anything. Irrespective of that source, this data can be stored in a storage area where relevant data will be there. Relevant data means HR data will stored into HR data mart. Sales data will be specifically stored into sales data. Such kind of relevant data. Okay, data warehousing merges data from multiple sources into an easy and complete form. So that's what, right? We were saying uniform format. So they are saying easy and complete form, right? It is also known as EDW, Enterprise Data Warehouse. What is Enterprise Data Warehouse? It's same as data warehouse. So data warehouses are central repositories of integrated data from one or more sources. So we are integrating data, right? From one or more sources. We are integrating that data. So these are central repositories for this integrated data. Virtual data warehousing. What is virtual data warehousing? Virtual data warehousing provides a collective view of completed data. So completed data, there see repeatedly there are terms of completed data, easy and complete form of data, relevant data. So all these what all these terminologies are pointing towards, it is a cleaned, nicely kept data, not a messy one, uniform data. It will follow a uniform format. So all these things are pointing towards this kind of data. Okay, it can be considered as a logical data model of the containing metadata. So what is metadata? Metadata is a kind of big data. What is big data? The data which is big in form. It can be several terabytes of data. So this type of data will be there. So active data warehousing. What is active data warehousing? An active data warehousing represents a single state of business. It considers the analytic perspectives of customers and suppliers. It helps to deliver the updated data through reports. What does this mean? So active data warehouse represents a single state of business. What is single state of business? So let's consider Reliance. Reliance is having lots of business areas, right? They are having telecommunication business area. They are having oil and gas business area. They are having manufacturing. They are into retail. They are into clothing stores. They are into online shopping applications, Agio, etc. So only single state of business means any one of these business. It represents a single state of such business line. It considers the analytical perspective of customers and suppliers. Okay, so let's consider Agio. So let, this Agio data is considered in perspective of customers and suppliers. So we are keeping track of Agio. We are keeping data of Agio on data warehouse. We are preparing a data warehouse for Reliance Industries. But in under Reliance Industries, there are again different types of subject specific data or business oriented data. Right now what we want to do is we want to focus customers and suppliers for Agio, who are suppliers for Agio, those guys who are providing clothes to Agio store, who are customers like us. So like Ambani's will focus to grow their business on customers also and suppliers also. How will they generate that reports? From our database. Because on our database, once you create your own application also, right, your own login credential on Agio, your all those details will get stored on Agio's database. But you are not putting all such data the same way I am putting, right? So all this messy data will get unified, and that particular unified data will get stored on Reliance's data warehouse. And from this Reliance's data warehouse, they'll generate reports, and these reports can be used to for analytical purpose, and then they'll take like decisions accordingly to grow their own business, right? This is a simple example. So what is data marts? Data marts is nothing but a subset of the data warehouse, and it is a usually oriented to a specific business line or a team. Which which we talked about right now. So subset. So let's same example of Reliance. What data marts is? Data warehouse is Reliance data warehouse. Data marts is different business lines. So there can be multiple data marts to one data warehouse. Will when you see this architecture, no, you'll come to know. what I was trying to explain. See, these are different data sources. I'm creating one login from my Agio. You are going to Reliance store. You are putting your data here. Someone from oil and business industry is putting their own data in Excel format. Someone from Agio, someone from Geo Center, they are giving this our own data from Notepad format. All such other like different formats data will come into data staging. Here we will apply transformation logics, transformation rules. This Reliance stakeholders will give us rules, set of rules, or handle all our customers' data in such a way that we in XYZ format. Uh, they'll provide us rules and all such data from their own customers with different business lines. We'll handle that data. We'll apply some transformations over here in data staging. This transformed data will push to data warehouse. Data warehouse is a deep database management system only. Here we are handling this metadata, big data, and this data warehouse consists of small data marts. What are the data marts? This data mart will uh, uh, you know contain your Agio's data in a unified format. All these data marts will have same format, okay, same form of data. But here specifically you will find Agio data. Here specifically you will find Geo data. Another data mart you will specifically find oil and gas industries customers data. Such a way, in such a way, right? You're getting right. Yeah, so these are data marts. So what this management and control part is doing, they are handling, they are just see from this data warehouse, information delivery will be there. Uh, this all this data will be used for information. Data mining, we can do data mining over here. We'll see what data mining is, but data mining can be done on based on this data warehouse. OLAP, what we'll see what OLAP also. OLAP means online analytical processing. So OLAP systems will fetch data from this data warehouse. Some reporting tools such as Power BI, uh, Tableau, such reporting tools will fetch data from data warehouse. And all such reports and analytics, such things, this management will use to generate or take some business decisions, right? So this is a data warehouse block diagram. So let's go back to our data warehouse. So this is data marts. Then let's discuss these features of data warehouse, difference between data mining and difference between business intelligence, OLTP, OLAP tomorrow. Okay, it's already been too late and we are taking much time. I just don't want to be in rush to make you understand such concept, because these are basics of our ETL testing concepts. So I just want you to guys to be more attentive, and I just want to, you know, uh, uh, push these concepts into your head with simple and sweet examples. So we'll see these remaining slides tomorrow. Okay.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. What we learn all things is the open source, sir. Which tool
What?
we will use?
Yes. Okay. If you're talking about tools, no, there are
Yeah.
no open source tools. These are paid tools. Companies usually pay to operate on such tools.
Okay.
Let's suppose if your organization is working on Informatica to generate ETL graphs and ETL mappings, then they'll have to pay Informatica for their for using their own application.
So
So
then
there can
here, how can we practice
yes.
with this tool? How can
You
we possible?
you cannot practice. Uh, I'll just have to give you overview of all such tools. I'll show you
Okay.
what tools are what this UI looks like, what functionality of this particular button, what functionality of this particular button, how these mappings will get done. I'll show you that all such things, and from that you will come to know. And no need to practice on such tools, because uh, more than practicing on such tools, understanding of these such concepts is more important. Being in ETL, being an ETL tester, being an ETL tester or ETL testing student, what you can do is, if you want to practice SQL. That's it. Don't
Okay.
focus on ETL tool, Informatica or Ab initio or whatever it is. All such tools are same, and don't focus on practicing on tools. These tools are used for transformation purpose. Even if you have access, no, you should have some business rules. Where will you get those business rules, right? Right now, you don't have any business requirement document. I'll show you one business requirement document, but uh, you should have developed ETL graphs. You will have to find one ETL developer who will develop one ETL graph for you, and then you will start testing on such tools. So it will be much a different path. Okay. So forget about practicing on ETL tools. Focus on practicing of SQL. When we will start with SQL part, right? That time you just I'll make you install Microsoft SQL in your machine, and then I'll give you sample data also. There you will perform your SQL operations to validate count checks and such different types of ETL testing test case scenarios.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Anyone is having any question? Ahana, you were having some questions, right? We can take it now.
Uh, okay, that will ask later. But I'm having right now one question that is in general.
Hmm.
Uh, Nowadays AI is going,
Hmm.
so how much impact on ETL testers?
See, AI will not affect ETL testing jobs. Any testing jobs. See, automation testing can impact, but see, automation testing also. Again, automation testing. Who will do automation testing? Again, tester will do automation testing, right? Tester has to develop automation scripts.
Mhm.
Then, so ETL testing is not having any impact of AI till now. Ac- So let me tell you one thing. What is AI? Artificial intelligence, right? How they are developing this AI? They are using your data. They are
Mhm.
feeding there some kind of data to AI systems. Artificial intelligence is consist of many such technologies. One of it is machine learning, deep learning, data science, data analysis will be there, right? So all such technologies, where it will come at the end, it will come to the it will come and ask you for data. So you will not feed messy data to such systems, right? You will feed clean data. So who will feed clean data to such systems? ETL systems, ETL processes. If you are developing some ETL processes, if you're developing some ETL systems, it has to be it has to get tested, right? Who will do this kind of testing? ETL tester. So this is a chain. So let me give you one overview where ETL testing stands. Uh, Whatever data we are putting into data warehouse, that data is as I said, that data is generating reports, right? What are
Mhm.
these reports? These reports are insights. These reports are analysis. What is analysis? What kind of analysis is this? It is a data analysis, because this analysis is based on data. So this is a data analysis. Based on this data analysis, data scientists are generating their own technologies, and they are using their this you know there are plenty of other technical terms are there. While if you go through data scientist curriculum, so they are using such data analytics to generate their own data science insights. And this type of data science and uh, such kind of systems are again fed to AI systems, for machine learning systems, to deep learning systems, and this data will again used for generating AI to make AI more powerful. So these are the so we are at base of each of these system as a ETL tester, or as a ETL, as a part of ETL system.
Okay, that is means you are saying like fundamental things the human can understand, the AI couldn't understand. When finding the
Yes,
error, finding the
yes,
errors, what can I
yes,
be improved there, what
yeah,
the strategy can I implement. This can be
yes,
improved by human, not AI.
yeah,
Whatever we AI that apply by
yeah.
AI
In
person.
one sentence, AI needs clean data, and you are giving clean data to AI.
Okay, it's required
Yeah,
clean data,
yes,
and we people
yes,
can do ETL testing on messy with the
y-
messy data.
yes.
So don't you
We are
think it is
responsible.
at least 10-20% is impacted by AI?
See, if
Because
you think that way, no. See, let me make you understand this thing. If you think that way, you don't have anything to do in today's world. You don't have anything to do. You don't even have to do your day-to-day chores at your home, because that will also AI will do. You don't have to
mm,
make pocha in your house. That
mm,
can also AI will do. You don't have to wash your clothes. That washing machine is doing.
mhm,
So anything. If you are into capital markets, right, to like nowadays there are algo tradings. You don't have to make. You just buy a algo system. You just make your own rules, feed those rules to your algo system, and put your money and sit back and relax. Algo
yeah,
will do your trades, right? You don't
yes,
have to anything. Yes. So if you think that way, no, but still there are manual traders. Lots of manual traders are there, no, in the market. So
mhm,
no one has is vanished. Why big fund management companies are hiring fund managers with huge amount of salaries? Why they are hiring? They can use AI, right? They can use algo. Fund
mhm,
management companies can use algo, and they can put your funds into this such type of algo, and they can make money, and they'll share that money with you, right?
mhm,
But they are hiring fund managers to make research on
yeah,
companies, right? AI can do that research, right? That is not a difficult thing for AI to do research on any company for investing or trading or whatever it is. But they are still hiring fund manager from top tier colleges, right?
in the
So there,
market there is no result available. AI can do a research very well
no, not in
as
not only in market. I'm telling, in any industry, there are
mhm,
like AI is not going to take your job. See, that's it. AI is not going to take your job. You just have to be uh, updated with current trend. That's it. Ultimately, who is going to develop AI? Human is going to develop AI. There can be a huge necessity of see, there is a small example I was going through on internet. Earlier, people used to small business owners used to keep diwanjis to keep their accounts, right? Then later, these diwanjis have replaced by accountants, like educated accountants. Then these accountants have got their calculators to calculate complex business accounts, to calculate complex business accounts. Then later computer systems were introduced, where small like big computer screens and with small configurations were introduced. That time they were saying like these computers are going to take jobs from these such kind of accountants and such kind of technical or employers, uh, and these computers are going to eat lots of jobs, right? They were saying at that time in 90s or 80s. Then what happened? Accountants are there. They just upgraded their self. They learned computer how we should operate computers, and computers created more jobs, right? Right now after computers, they have introduced little small softwares for specific purposes. There were no softwares for chatting. There were no softwares for video calling. So specific purpose softwares only were there at earlier time when computers were introduced. But right now, like how many softwares, you cannot even imagine that for this particular purpose another software is there. For this particular purpose another software is there. You just name any purpose and software will be there. Any kind of software will be there. So it generated more jobs. Same thing will go with AI in future. AI will create more jobs instead of eating your existing job. So don't worry about that. You just right now what you have to do is you have to uh, upgrade yourself to latest skills, go with the trend, upgrade yourself with SQL, upgrade yourself with ETL. Right now you are focusing on ETL, that's why I'm telling ETL. So upgrade yourself, that's it.
Yeah, right. That's the only way.
Yes.
Not is too
if you
dominant
go
AI.
to if you go to chat GPT and if you type, tell me about ETL testing, uh, show me detailed course on ETL testing, chat GPT will throw you some big message, right? You are you able to read that message and understand? Why do you need such course? Because you are able to ask me some written questions. You cannot go to AI and ask written questions. What why you cannot discuss such things. You need human to interact. You need a teacher to understand what ETL is more than that automated systems, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So don't think about AI. Just upgrade yourself. That's it.
Yeah, thanks. I got your point.
Yeah. And always like think think on such things which are in your control. Don't think on such things which are not in your control. Do
Like what?
whatever you can. Like see, do whatever you can, which is in your own control. Don't think
Mhm.
at all which is not in your control. AI is not in your control. Even if he's going to eat your job, it is not in your control. Don't think about that. Think about what you can control. What you can
Okay.
control, you can learn SQL. What you can
Can
control,
learn
you
it.
can learn ETL. What you can control, you can practice SQL. What you can control, you can apply for several, like plenty of jobs daily. What you can control, you can give your interview best. You can give your best in interview, land the job. So think on this part.
Actually, right.
Yes,
Thanks. Thank you so much.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. Welcome. No problem. Anyone is having any doubt, Jyoti, Pritika, regarding ETL, data warehouse, whatever we have seen till now?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you guys drop your name, phone number, and experience level, and rate yourself on the scale of 0 to 10 for SQL and for ETL? Can you can you guys please quickly do that in chat box?